It is so good to see you. Happy Thursday and happy IT Pro Appreciation Week. Welcome to our virtual happy hour. As you may notice, I'm not at home anymore, and we are hosting live from CompTIA HQ just outside of Chicago. We are ecstatic to be able to celebrate you, our IT pros, as well as we're celebrating as a staff to, we got through this last year, and we are so excited to be able to be joined in person by a lot of our staff, including our IT team, and we're giving them the night off. so they're not going to be with us right now. They're going to just be celebrating in the background. But this is a little bit different than last year. Last year, we were just virtual because we had to be virtual, right? So let us know where you're tuning in from. Let us know what you're drinking, because this is a happy hour after all. And it's a global celebration. We are so excited that you are here with us, and we can't wait to chat with you a little bit later. Like I said, we have been celebrating all week long with IT Pro Appreciation Week, and this is kind of the culmination of all of our team's hard work to bring this all together. But we've got a lot going on, and we want to tell you all about it. But I think we need to do a few different things first. The first is thank you. Thank you to the IT pros that are out there. Heartfelt thank you from everyone here at CompTIA, from everyone here at IT Pro TV. We are going to be joined soon by Don Pizzette, and we are so excited. But we just wanted to let you guys know, thank you for everything that you've put forth this year. You've been dealt a hand that is a little bit difficult, but we are really excited to be here celebrating you this week. If you are celebrating, make sure that you're tagging us on social. You can use hashtag CompTIA IT Pro. You can use hashtag IT Pro Appreciation. And you're probably wondering, though, why are we celebrating? Which we should be celebrating you always, right? It's somewhat of a thankless job to be in IT sometimes. But why are we celebrating? Tomorrow is Sysadmin's Day, or hashtag Sysadmin Day. There's another one to just add to your repertoire as you're trying to celebrate on social this week. But we are celebrating all week long, like I said. So before we get into all of the excitement, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe on YouTube here so that we can bring you more great IT career content. All right, let's meet our extra special guests, shall we? We are here coast to coast from everyone, but not the least of which is down in the southeast of the U.S., Don from IT Pro TV. Welcome, Don. How are you?
I am doing great, Kelsey. Thanks for having me on here. You're coming at you from Gainesville, Florida, so on the East Coast, and I've been watching the chat room. There are all people from all over the world in there, and let me tell you, for me, especially coming from a company named IT Pro TV, any chance I get to come and meet fellow IT pros and extend a great big thank you on behalf of all the companies, then that's going to be a good time. So I'm really looking forward to just kind of chatting and relaxing here during the IT Pro Happy Hour.
I love it. And I'm seeing a lot of people here in the chat. Some of you are drinking water. Good for you. Hydrate, 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 especially when you're studying. That's awesome. I think obviously we've got some people behind us, right? Not alone. We've got Tullahoma, Tennessee, drinking a blueberry lemon twist. Don, that reminds me of a drink that you might have tried just recently. We'll get to that a little bit later, but let's say hi to everybody. Say hi to YouTube, everybody. Awesome. Well, like I said, we're giving our IT staff a day off today. They don't have to see their name in lights, but we are going to be definitely highlighting all of your names and lights. Be active in the chat. We're so excited to hear from you. While we're getting things rolling, let us know, what have you done this year that, maybe it was a challenge. It was something that you're super proud of. What makes you the most valuable IT pro? Let us know in the chat, and we'll make sure to highlight some of those throughout this entire stream. All right, so what is IT Pro Appreciation Week, and how are our two organizations celebrating? We're going to have to take a trip down memory lane, I think, back to 2019 when IT Pro TV and CompTIA teamed up for the road to ChannelCon. It took us places like St. Louis. It took us places like the middle of nowhere, Texas. We were all over the place, down in Atlanta, down in Florida. You name it. It's kind of the, those flyover states, Don. Like, we were able to really hit all of those hot spots that most people think that the Silicon Valley is the only place for tech companies. And as we all know, IT and tech is everywhere. So it was so fun to be able to see all of those different IT pros. I think my favorite was here. I mean, granted, hometown advantage here, but the Brookfield Zoo, we were able to go and visit and see their IT operation. And I think for some people that may not, maybe you're joining us and you haven't really gotten into IT yet, but you're just a little curious, you can get into IT in pretty much any field, right, Don?
You can. And, when we started that roadshow, I was a little nervous about it because I thought, what's going to happen if we stick a bunch of IT pros in a van and send them across the country? It's going to be a debacle. But we ended up having a ton of fun and meeting a lot of people that we wouldn't have met otherwise. When you go to San Francisco, you're certainly going to meet some tech people, but it's a very different subset than the people you meet all across the country. And my favorite part was the times when we had a chance to visit schools, because we had people that were in high school or right out of high school that were looking to enter into the IT career field. And they're nervous. They don't know what to expect. It may be their first job. They don't have a big resume, and they just don't know what's going to happen. And so it was a chance for us to meet and share stories and tell them what it's been like for us out in the field. It was a great chance to give back to people and just help people be more comfortable and understand that IT is a great career field to be in. And for all of you IT pros watching, that, yeah, there's some rough days. There's some days where there's a lot of pressure on us. But all said and done, it's a great career field. We enjoy what we do. We get to work with the latest and greatest technology, and that's a great thing to share with people.
That is awesome. It was seriously one of the best trips, and you wouldn't think that maybe it was a nice van. It was a van with Don's face on it. Don and James Stanger from CompTIA as well. It was a great looking van, right? But the most important part for me was being able to hear all of those stories. And, we've got some of those stories that are here in the chat right now. Someone said, Eric, just passed Security Plus last Friday, just in time, mind you, because it expires or it retires on Saturday. So cutting it a little close there, Eric, but congratulations nonetheless. Hearing about the different journeys that these IT pros have taken from students or career changers and getting into IT nonetheless is just huge. Janice, I want to give you a shout out. I was able to raise my children as a single mother because of IT and my certifications. That is huge. I'm so happy for you. I think that is such a wonderful, wonderful accomplishment. There are so many that are flooding in the chat. It's going to be impossible to be able to call out to every single one of them, but please keep it loaded because we want to be able to get back to you, of course. So Don, you and Wendell, I think that we showed that a little bit in our little montage, if you will. You and Wendell were hosting ChannelCon online, right?
All right, so we have to remember that these stories are from before the pandemic, and
yes.
I got a little spoiled, I think, because we were doing ChannelCon online, and normally an online experience is different than an in-person experience. But Wendell and I got to be right there at ChannelCon, so we would spend time with the online community, and then we'd turn right around and talk to the presenters and the attendees, and we got to meet everybody. It was so much fun. And I'm really looking forward to in-person ChannelCon once again. But hey, over the last 2 years, we've really evolved online presentations and gotten to where we can have a great community online. And so that makes it where everybody can participate. It was a ton of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of ChannelCon, while we're at it, ChannelCon is virtual again this year, just as it was last year. But next year, we are coming into, we're going to be in Houston, Texas live again, which will be so exciting. But ChannelCon this year is August 3rd through the 4th. Make sure to check out the links in the description. They'll be there in a little while. And we'll make sure that you guys can get registered because there's going to be some really cool events. It's going to be hosted from our sister channel, CompTIA Connect. And while ChannelCon is typically for those that are in the business of technology. Think of an MSP, things like that, where you're working with technology, but maybe you're not that IT pro. There are some really cool sessions that are focused around cybersecurity, the Kaseya attack, and what happened with that, and how we can kind of learn from it. So I think that there's definitely things that you definitely want to register for, especially make sure you register. That was the one thing that I had to make sure I told you guys, that you have to register, even though it's going to be on YouTube. Register, because there are some things like the keynote speaker and the Genius Bar and things like that that are only available if you register. So Be sure to do that. We are excited for ChannelCon online next week. Okay, so Don, you're celebrating IT pros this week, but also all month long, right? For maybe even CompTIA aspiring IT pros too. Can you tell us a little bit about CompTIA month at IT Pro TV?
All right, so it's a big month for us. You know, I already mentioned we're IT Pro TV, so obviously it's going to be big. And we've always had just a great relationship with CompTIA. So the opportunity for us to combine forces is something we always jump at. So this month we've done a number of things. We actually kicked things off earlier this month. We did a CompTIA free weekend, where basically for an entire weekend we made it where people could come to our site and watch whatever CompTIA content they wanted for free. And that we saw a huge amount of people take advantage of that, which was phenomenal. And it was a great chance for people to explore some of the other certifications. You know, everybody knows A+, Net+, Security+, those three right there. That's a big deal. Everybody knows those. But there's a lot of newer certifications, some that have actually been around for years, but just aren't as well known. And I'm thinking like CISA Plus and Pen Test Plus, the CASP Plus, those certifications where they're higher in difficulty. They're more challenging. They're made for people who are already in the industry. It was a great chance for people just getting started to take a look at those and see what are some of the things I'm going to get to learn as I evolve in my career. So that was a ton of fun. It's not all over for us, though. We have other things. Tomorrow, we're doing CompTIA Jeopardy. So a Jeopardy game themed with CompTIA questions. We've created a pool of questions based on some of the popular certifications like Security Plus, Network Plus. And so it will be streamed live on YouTube tomorrow. So be sure you jump in and check that out. And it's basically, we're taking the IT Pro TV edutainers, putting it up there, and I'm going to do my best, Alex Trebek, and jump in and handle the clues so they can give us the questions and see what happens. And I'll tell you, you know, on the real Jeopardy, they're changing out hosts, trying out new people, and it's stressful being the host of that. And so I'm a little nervous. We'll see how it goes, but it should be a ton of fun. We'll have links in the description that you can catch up on and follow all of that to be able to watch it.
That is awesome. You know, we have a couple of them. Oh, love the game shows, Don, from Mike Rees. Mike Rees also said that he just passed CompTIA A+ thanks to you, Don.
Wow, congratulations.
Awesome. Yes, that is so huge. Thank you guys for tuning in the chat. This is super fun. And I think you've done a little something different this year too, haven't you, Don? A little something to get us prepared for this happy hour?
We did. So when we heard there was going to be the happy hour, we started thinking, what could we do remotely that could support that? You know, we can't mail drinks to people and things. So what we decided is, and some of our phenomenal people on the marketing team and the creative team, they came up with some IT themed cocktails. And so each of us edutainers took some time to work with Peter Van Rysdom there, who was in the picture, where he would basically tell us about these cocktails. We would make them and see how it went. The very first one was the one that I did. We called that one the Blue Screen of Death. And it was based on a cocktail called the Luscious Lucy, which I had never had. If you've seen the video, you already know how I react. But if you haven't, go check it out. It's on YouTube, and that's literally what you see on camera is the first time that I've ever tasted something like that, and it was bizarre. Yeah,
tasted like what the Blue Screen of Death would taste like.
Yes, yeah. If actual Blue Screen of Death had a flavor, that's what that drink was. We also did the TCP IPA, the Malware, which was based on the Mind Eraser, the Long Island IT. And the one we haven't released yet, it's coming out tomorrow, is the Red Team, which is based on a Bloody Mary. So that'll be the fifth and final one we do. There
we go. I am excited for the Red Team, as long as it's happening around brunch time, of course. All right. Well, that sounds super fun. Today at CompTIA, of course, we're hosting a taco bar and everything in honor of our IT pros, but we also are having our margaritas, if you will. Best I could do was short notice with that quick little pun, but thank you so much to IT Pro TV for helping us hype it up. And I think that I'm definitely going to try some of those drinks. Maybe not the Blue Screen of Death, but I'm thinking that maybe the Red Team might be the way to go. So thank you guys so much for that. What you'll also see is that we are actually hosting a Lego competition, and I would like to mention that our reigning champion is Lauren Prey. There is no one that's going to be able to beat Lauren Prey, she says. So let's see. We will absolutely see what's going to work out. We've got about 4 different competitors with her, so we will let you know who wins. They're putting together little trophies, so we will see. Oh, okay. Our chief legal officer, Courtney Fong, comes out with the win. Before I could even get to, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that the timing worked out for that, Courtney. Congratulations to Courtney Fong. Lauren, I think that you can get maybe second place. Let's see, silver medal. We'll see what happens. But it's really fun. We just wanted to tune in and be able to highlight that Lego competition. That might be something that we tack on to a future IT Pro TV, CompTIA. Maybe we'll do a competition with that. We can kind of talk amongst ourselves. But
every IT pro likes Legos. I've got my Ghostbuster Firehouse behind me here. I think that's just kind of a universal thing. Everybody likes Legos.
Yes, absolutely. And as a mom to a 5-year-old going on 6-year-old, there are Legos throughout my home, and I think that I might even have Legos in my shoes right now. It's possible. So I digress. So the theme of this year's IT Pro, happy hour IT Pro appreciation is the most valuable IT Pro. And this is really based off of a piece that was written talking about the infrastructure MVITP, or most valuable IT professional. And there are a few different traits that each MVITP holds. This is the theme that, of course, we carried on throughout our sweepstakes as well. And we're about to announce the winners, not yet, but we are going to announce the winners of our sweepstakes. But I want to tell you all about the 5 traits that an MVP of any organization holds. And Don, maybe you can help me shed some light to some of these things as a non-technical person, but as someone that just loves IT pros and appreciates you all nonetheless. Maybe you can add a little bit of technical knowledge for me here. But sure. So one of the traits is that they have a mid-level understanding of all pieces of IT infrastructure. That is something that ranges from hardware to software, the cloud. That is something that every IT pro, especially MVITPs, they need to know, right? But I think one of the most important ones, at least for me, because I love being able to communicate with our IT pros, but sometimes there are things that I just don't understand. So one of the other traits is that they communicate about tech terms in terms that everyone can understand, even me, which is awesome. And how important is that, Don?
Oh, it is super critical. A lot of people don't think about that. When they think about an IT career, it's, I need to know how to set up an Active Directory or DNS servers, replicate file storage. They don't think about, I've got to talk to the end user, to the customer, to the CIO, to the executives, and communicate what our IT needs are in a way that people understand. And historically, if you look at the most successful IT people, they're across the board great communicators. That's really important.
Yeah, absolutely. Another thing too, and this is kind of part of those power skills, or soft skills is what they used to call them, but we call them power skills because you really need to have that communication, but also the creativity. So, you can diagnose a problem and implement a creative solution. Don, can you give us an idea of maybe a time that you've had to diagnose a problem and then create one of those creative solutions?
Sure. We like to think about computers in terms of, computers are binary, ones and zeros, on and off. It either works or it doesn't work. Yeah. But it doesn't take long working in IT to realize that sometimes there's things in between where they sort of work. And so then we've got to get creative. And you may have a unique problem that's different than what anyone else has seen. You might have to integrate 2 systems that are just not normally integrated. And at that point, there's no off-the-shelf software you can buy. You've got to figure something out and get it put in place. So being able to think on your feet, being able to identify creative and yet reliable solutions, right? That's kind of the challenge. You don't want to just cobble things together and have a network that fails on a regular basis, but you do have to get creative, especially within a budget, to be able to make sure you're putting the best solutions in place. That's a big challenge that MVITPs are able to overcome.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Gerard had a good point. He said, I can understand that as far as needing to be able to communicate. He said that they just had their 5th kid. Congratulations, Gerard.
Oh my goodness, that is busy.
5 kids. And I'm sure that my IT team probably feels like they've got, hundreds of children, which I can only fathom. I can't imagine. But, you have to kind of know that difference, right? It's kind of the same thing with tickets and kids, and it's always busy. And to that, parenting, you have to come up with creative solutions all the time. So good for you, Gerard. That's awesome. So a couple of the last ones before we actually get to announce the winners. I'm about to do that, so don't worry, everybody. You keep up to date on the different trends through training and certifications. You understand how to build and implement and maintain endpoint solutions. You have to think about it as a whole. Start with the end in mind and kind of understand, if we build it, they will come. And if they come, are we prepared? So think about it that way. But I'm really excited to announce our winners for the sweepstakes. Don, are you ready to announce them?
Absolutely. Let's bring them up.
Okay, awesome. Okay, our winners for the most valuable IT Pro sweepstakes. There are 4 winners from the US and Canada. We've got William Brown, Jonathan Yan, Catherine Parrie, and Ronald Cullen. Congratulations to all of you. We've also got one winner from each of these other regions. And one thing that I wanted to mention is we hear it all the time that you want us to continue to increase our global presence when it comes to sweepstakes. There's a little bit more red tape than maybe you can imagine when it comes to making that happen. But for this particular sweepstakes, we added 16 countries to this sweepstakes. So we're working on it for you. Trust us, we are there for you, and we want to be able to see more winners like the ones from the Asia Pacific region, from EMEA, and from South Africa. So congratulations to all of those winners. It's super exciting, and I know that all of you have been super, super patient as well, but we want to highlight a couple of those stories from those winners. Let's pull up William's, for example. Congratulations to William. He successfully built 3 new work PCs from scratch for individual clients as a freelance professional. That's pretty huge. I don't know if I could do that, obviously. Don, how many computers have you built from scratch in your career? Do you even have a number?
Surprisingly, I've built quite a few, and it's a great skill to have because it shows creativity. But you're also, you can buy computers anywhere, right? Yeah. You can run to the store and buy one today, and it's not a big deal. But to custom build a computer, you can specifically meet somebody's needs, and that's going to enable them to work better, be more productive, and have a happier work life. And that's a great thing. So a phenomenal skill. Congratulations on being able to do that.
That is awesome. Okay, let's pull up a couple more just while we're at it. So for Ronald, he said that he's learning Linux Mint and upgrading my Windows 10 knowledge. That is awesome. Linux is something that I think everything is, I shouldn't just say this, but a lot of things are going open source, right? And you have to, it's so flexible. You have to be able to kind of understand your knowledge at the command line, and then you can adjust different things from there, right? So Don, how important is Linux, and how important is upgrading your Windows 10 knowledge?
They're both very important. Windows obviously is the most popularly installed desktop operating system in the world. So that's an essential skill. Yeah. Windows 10 is the current version. We've got to update our skills. Even if you're done updating your skills, Windows 11 is on the horizon. So it's a constant update. But Linux is really important for moving forward in your IT career. Everything's going to the cloud, and the cloud is almost entirely built on Linux-based technologies. When you go into AWS or Microsoft Azure, they're deploying more Linux virtual machines than any other OS. So it's a skill that if you don't have it, you should be thinking about it, right? Get your basic skills in first. Most people are not running Linux on their desktop. So in desktop support, it's not as important. But once you start dealing with servers, odds are you're going to be working with Linux.
Absolutely. And I don't know if this is a secret anymore, but I think Linux is your favorite, isn't it, Don?
It is. I do the majority, if not all, of the Linux training here for IT Pro TV.
That is awesome. Well, congratulations again to our winners. One final treat that we have for all of you. Congratulations to everyone. But one final treat that we have for all of you is the announcement of our flash sale. These discounts are only available through end of day tomorrow. Definitely take a look at the rules and regulations to make sure that you get everything in time tomorrow at 11:59 Central Time. you will get 10% off of a purchase of $50 or more using the code 10ITProDay 2021. 15% off $349 or more with 15 IT Pro Day 2021, and 20% off of $449 or more. So think about that. There's definitely going to be banners on the store too, so you won't be able to forget about it. But if you've got some shopping to do, if you've got some bundles to purchase, I think that you can get a very nice 20% off as a as a thank you from us for IT Pro Appreciation Week. We are really excited that all of you have joined us, and we appreciate you. In my mind, in our mind, you are all MVPs, most valuable players of all of your organizations. Congratulations, and thank you all so much. Thank you, Don, so much for joining me today and adding in your candor here. It's been super fun. Let's see if we can have everyone say hi one more time before we all say goodbye. There they go. Okay, there we go from all the rest of the room too. That's awesome. Well, thank you all so much. Congratulations again to the winners. We'll leave those up just a little bit longer, and we are really happy to celebrate Sysadmin Day and IT Pro Appreciation Week, brought to you here from CompTIA and IT Pro TV. So thank you everybody so much, and happy IT Pro Day.